Welcome to GEOL's LED Review. This is Professional Education LED Review for September 2023. Part 2. Prayer. Our Father, I turn to you, seeking your divine help and mercy, as I ask for your grace, to help me pass my board exam. I ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that I can remember everything I have studied. Please do not abandon me in this time of need, but grant me the favor I seek. I ask this in your holy name. Amen. Taking the time to review and improve your knowledge and skills is a crucial step in becoming a licensed professional teacher, LPT. By committing to a thorough and dedicated review process, you'll be better equipped to succeed in the LPT exam and, more importantly, to excel in your teaching career. As you review, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the principles and practices of effective teaching, and you'll be able to apply this knowledge in the classroom to help your students succeed. Remember that becoming an LPT is not just about passing an exam. It's about committing to a lifelong pursuit of excellence in teaching. So take the time to review thoroughly, and know that your efforts will be rewarded with a fulfilling and impactful career as an LPT. Please support this channel by sharing this video and clicking the subscribe button. Have a paper and pen with you and try to answer for each question. Question number 1. Which philosophy of education believes that the purpose of education is to prepare students for their role in society and to transmit cultural values and knowledge to the next generation? A. Progressivism. B. Essentialism. C. Reconstructionism. D. Perennialism. Which philosophy of education believes that the purpose of education is to prepare students for their role in society and to transmit cultural values and knowledge to the next generation? The answer is letter B. Essentialism. Explanation. The philosophy of essentialism is often associated with the belief that the primary purpose of education is to prepare students for their role in society and to transmit cultural values and knowledge to the next generation. Essentialism is a traditional and conservative approach to education that emphasizes the importance of a core set of knowledge and skills that all students should learn. It suggests that there is a body of knowledge that is essential for all students to acquire, regardless of their individual interests or career aspirations. Essentialists believe that schools should focus on teaching students the fundamentals, such as reading, writing, mathematics, and science. This approach emphasizes discipline, hard work, and respect for authority. Essentialism also emphasizes the importance of transmitting cultural values, such as the importance of patriotism, hard work, and respect for tradition. William Bagley is considered the father of essentialism in education. He believed that the purpose of education was to transmit a core of essential knowledge and skills to students, which he called the cultural heritage of the human race. Bagley believed that this cultural heritage should be taught through a rigorous and disciplined curriculum, with an emphasis on the basics of reading, writing, math, science, and history. Bagley's ideas had a significant impact on American education, particularly during the 1930s and 1940s, and helped to shape the essentialist approach to education that continues to influence educational policy and practice today. Question number 2. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the role of the teacher as a facilitator and encourages student-centered learning? A. Progressivism. B. Behaviorism. C. Essentialism. D. Perennialism. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the role of the teacher as a facilitator and encourages student-centered learning? For question number 2, the answer is A. Progressivism. Explanation. John Dewey is often considered the father of progressivism in education. He was an American philosopher, psychologist, and educator. Dewey believed that education should be more focused on the needs and interests of students, and that it should help prepare them for active participation in a democratic society. In a progressive classroom, students are encouraged to be active learners who take responsibility for their own learning. They are given the opportunity to explore, question, and discover on their own, with the teacher guiding and facilitating their learning process. Progressivism is a student-centered philosophy of education that emphasizes the importance of empowering students to be active learners and critical thinkers. It seeks to create a more inclusive and democratic classroom where students have a voice in their own education and are prepared to engage with the complex challenges of the world beyond the classroom. Question number 3. Which philosophy of education focuses on developing the intellectual and moral virtues of students through a rigorous curriculum? A. Essentialism. B. Progressivism. C. Perennialism. D. Reconstructionism. Which philosophy of education focuses on developing the intellectual and moral virtues of students through a rigorous curriculum? The answer is essentialism. Essentialism is a philosophical approach to education that emphasizes the importance of teaching fundamental knowledge and skills to students. It is based on the belief that there is a core set of knowledge and skills that all students should learn, regardless of their interests or backgrounds. The curriculum is designed to focus on essential knowledge and skills, such as reading, writing, math, science, history, and foreign languages. The essentialist approach to education is based on the belief that a rigorous and structured curriculum is necessary to ensure that students acquire the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in life. This approach emphasizes the importance of discipline, hard work, and academic achievement. Therefore, the philosophy of education that focuses on developing the intellectual and moral virtues of students through a rigorous curriculum is essentialism. Question number 4. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the importance of learning by doing and hands-on experiences? A. Progressivism. B. Behaviorism. C. Perennialism. D. Essentialism. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the importance of learning by doing and hands-on experiences? The answer is A. Progressivism. The philosophy of education that emphasizes the importance of learning by doing and hands-on experiences is progressivism. Progressivism is a philosophical approach to education that emerged in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It is based on the belief that education should be focused on the needs and interests of the individual student and that the best way for students to learn is through direct experience and active engagement in the learning process. Progressivism emphasizes the importance of hands-on, experiential learning, as opposed to rote memorization and passive listening. It promotes the use of projects, group work, and other collaborative activities that allow students to engage with the material in meaningful ways. Progressivism also emphasizes the importance of critical thinking, problem-solving, and creativity, as students are encouraged to think for themselves and develop their own ideas. Overall, the goal of progressivism is to help students develop into active, engaged citizens who are capable of making a positive impact on their communities and the world around them. Question number 5. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the development of the whole person, including their physical, emotional, and social well-being? A. Humanism. B. Essentialism. C. Behaviorism. D. Perennialism. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the development of the whole person, including their physical, emotional, and social well-being? The answer is A. Humanism. Explanation. Humanism places a strong emphasis on the development of the whole person, including their physical, emotional, and social well-being. Humanistic educators believe that education should not only focus on academic knowledge and skills, but also on the personal and social growth of the individual. In the humanistic approach, the teacher plays a role of facilitator and guide, helping students to explore their interests and passions, develop their creativity, and cultivate their self-awareness and empathy. Humanistic educators believe that education should help students to become more fully human, and that this involves nurturing their emotional and social intelligence, as well as their physical health and well-being. Humanism is often contrasted with more traditional approaches to education, which prioritize the acquisition of knowledge and skills over the personal and social development of the individual. By emphasizing the holistic development of the person, humanism offers an alternative to these more narrow approaches and helps to ensure that education serves the needs of the whole person, not just their intellectual capacities. Question number 6. A student is having difficulty understanding a new math concept. According to cognitive theory, what is the most effective strategy to help the student learn? A. Repeatedly drill the student with practice problems until they can solve them correctly. B. Provide the student with step-by-step instructions on how to solve the problem. C. Encourage the student to use visual aids or manipulatives to help them understand the concept. D. Tell the student that they simply need to work harder and pay closer attention in class. To understand the questions in professional education, you must look for the clue. For this question, the clue is the most effective strategy to help the student learn. The most obvious wrong answer among the choices is choice D. Tell the student that they simply need to work harder and pay closer attention in class. Between choices A, B, and C, the less effective is choice A. Repeatedly drill the student with practice problems until they can solve them correctly. You are now left with choices B and C. The correct answer is choice C. Encourage the student to use visual aids or manipulatives to help them understand the concept. This is because, according to cognitive theory, using visual aids or manipulatives can help students better understand and retain new concepts. So, why not choice B? Provide the student with step-by-step instructions on how to solve the problem. Choice B could be a correct answer, but you are looking for the most effective. And choice C is the most effective among the choices. Question number 7. A teacher is teaching a class of high school students about the concept of memory. Which of the following is an example of a mnemonic device that the teacher could use to help the students remember information? A. Telling the students to simply memorize the information through repetition. B. Encouraging the students to visualize the information in their minds. C. Teaching the students a song or rhyme that includes the information. D. None of the above. Let us define first what is mnemonics. A mnemonic is a tool or technique that helps people remember information. Mnemonics are memory aids that can be used to remember facts, concepts, lists, or other types of information. Mnemonics can take many forms, including acronyms, rhymes, songs, visual images, or even stories. Mnemonics work by associating new information with something that is already familiar or easy to remember. For example, the acronym ROYGBIV is a common mnemonic used to remember the colors of the rainbow. Each letter in the acronym stands for a different color, making it easy to recall the order of the colors. Mnemonics can be especially helpful for people who have difficulty with memory or for those who need to memorize large amounts of information for exams or work. By using mnemonic techniques, people can improve their ability to recall information and remember important details more easily. So, for question number 7, the answer is choice C. Teaching the students a song or rhyme that includes the information. Question number 8. A student is struggling to understand a complex reading assignment. According to cognitive theory, which of the following is the most effective approach for the teacher to take? A. Tell the student to keep reading until they understand. B. Break down the assignment into smaller sections and have the student read each section separately. C. Provide the student with a summary of the reading assignment. D. Have the student work on a different assignment and come back to the reading later. A student is struggling to understand a complex reading assignment. According to cognitive theory, which of the following is the most effective approach for the teacher to take? The answer for question number 8 is choice B. Break down the assignment into smaller sections and have the student read each section separately. Because according to cognitive theory, breaking down a complex task into smaller, more manageable parts can help students better understand and remember the information. Question number 9. According to psychosexual theory, which of the following is the first stage of psychosexual development? A. Anal stage. B. Oral stage. C. Phallic stage. D. Genital stage. Before we reveal the answer, let us know first who is Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, the father of modern psychology. One of Freud's key contributions to psychology is his theory of psychosexual development. According to this theory, children pass through a series of stages of psychosexual development, each marked by a focus on a particular erogenous zone, an area of the body that is sensitive to sexual stimulation. The psychosexual stages are: oral stage, birth to 18 months. The focus of pleasure is on the mouth, including sucking, biting, and swallowing. An individual who experiences frustration or overindulgence during this stage may develop an oral fixation, leading to habits such as nail biting, smoking, or overeating. Anal stage, 18 months to 3 years. The focus of pleasure is on bowel and bladder control. An individual who experiences excessive control or punishment during this stage may develop an anal retentive fixation, leading to habits such as perfectionism or excessive cleanliness, while someone who experiences too little control may develop an anal expulsive fixation, leading to habits such as messiness or impulsiveness. Phallic stage, 3 to 6 years. The focus of pleasure is on the genitals, and the child becomes aware of gender differences. During this stage, the Oedipus complex and the Electra complex may occur, where the child develops sexual attraction to the opposite sex parent and jealousy of the same sex parent. If not resolved, this can lead to fixation or sexual dysfunction in adulthood. Latency stage, 6 to 12 years. Sexual impulses are dormant, and the child focuses on social and intellectual development. Genital stage, puberty and beyond. Sexual impulses re-emerge, and the focus of pleasure is on sexual intercourse and adult sexual relationships. Fixation occurs when a person becomes stuck in one of the psychosexual stages, often as a result of unresolved conflicts or excessive gratification or frustration. Fixation can lead to the development of personality traits, habits, and behaviors that are characteristic of that stage. For example, a person who is fixated at the oral stage may be overly dependent on others, while a person fixated at the anal stage may be excessively controlling or stubborn. Fixation can also contribute to the development of psychological disorders, such as obsessive-compulsive disorder or sexual dysfunction. According to psychosexual theory, oral stage from 0 to 18 months is the first stage of psychosexual development. Question number 10. In the phallic stage of psychosexual development, which of the following is the Oedipus complex? A. A boy's desire for his mother and fear of castration by his father. B. A girl's desire for her father and fear of castration by her mother. C. A boy's fear of his mother's rejection. D. A girl's fear of her father's rejection. In the phallic stage of psychosexual development, which of the following is the Oedipus complex? The answer is choice A. A boy's desire for his mother and fear of castration by his father. While choice B. A girl's desire for her father and fear of castration by her mother is called an Electra complex. Question number 11. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the importance of social change and reform? A. Progressivism. B. Essentialism. C. Reconstructionism. D. Perennialism. Which philosophy of education emphasizes the importance of social change and reform? The answer is choice C. Reconstructionism. It is based on the idea that education should not only transmit knowledge and skills but also promote social, political, and economic change. Reconstructionism is also known as social reconstructionism, because it focuses on rebuilding society through education. Reconstructionist educators believe that the purpose of education is to create a better society by promoting critical thinking, social justice, and active participation in social and political issues. They believe that schools should prepare students to be active citizens who can analyze social problems and work towards solving them. Reconstructionism emerged in the 1930s as a response to the social and economic challenges of the time. It was a period marked by the Great Depression, World War II, and the Civil Rights Movement. Reconstructionist educators sought to use education as a tool for social and economic reconstruction, believing that schools could play a vital role in transforming society. Question number 12. Which philosophy of education focuses on transmitting the cultural heritage of past civilizations to the next generation? A. Progressivism. B. Essentialism. C. Perennialism. D. Humanism. Which philosophy of education focuses on transmitting the cultural heritage of past civilizations to the next generation? For question number 12, the answer is choice C. Perennialism. Perennialism emphasizes the study of classic literature, history, and other disciplines that have stood the test of time. The focus is on developing critical thinking and analytical skills, rather than on teaching practical skills or vocational training. Perennialists believe that there is a body of knowledge and values that have endured throughout history and that should be passed on to future generations. Question number 13. Which of the following ensures a safe and secure environment for learners in school? A. Keeping the ID system. B. Installing CCTV. C. Having security guards. D. Caring and protective teachers. Which of the following ensures a safe and secure environment for learners in school? The answer is choice D. Caring and protective teachers. Question number 14. Which classroom approach is characterized by students learning through hands-on experiences? A. Direct instruction. B. Inquiry-based learning. C. Flipped classroom. D. Lecture-based instruction. Which classroom approach is characterized by students learning through hands-on experiences? The answers is choice B. Inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning, IBL, is an approach to education that focuses on student-centered learning and encourages learners to ask questions, seek answers, and develop their own knowledge and understanding. It is a process of learning that starts with posing questions, problems, or scenarios that are open-ended, thought-provoking, and engaging. Inquiry-based learning is often contrasted with traditional teacher-centered approaches to education, where the teacher lectures and students are expected to memorize and repeat information. Instead, IBL emphasizes active participation, exploration, and discovery. The teacher serves as a facilitator, guiding students to explore and investigate topics in depth and encouraging them to draw their own conclusions. Inquiry-based learning can take many forms, including project-based learning, problem-based learning, and case-based learning. These approaches share a focus on encouraging students to ask questions, gather information, analyze data, and reflect on their learning. The ultimate goal is to develop critical thinking skills, creativity, and a deep understanding of the subject matter. Question number 15. In which classroom approach are students responsible for their own learning and set their own goals? A. Direct instruction. B. Inquiry-based learning. C. Flipped classroom. D. Self-directed learning. In which classroom approach are students responsible for their own learning and set their own goals? The answer is choice D. Self-directed learning. Self-directed learning, SDL, is a learning approach where individuals take responsibility for their own learning process, directing their own learning activities and goals. It involves learners taking an active role in their education by identifying their learning needs, setting their learning goals, and designing and implementing strategies to achieve them. Self-directed learning can occur in various settings, such as formal education, workplace training, or personal development. It is a learner-centric approach where the focus is on the individual's needs and interests, rather than being dictated by a teacher or curriculum. Self-directed learners typically exhibit traits such as self-motivation, self-discipline, and self-evaluation skills. They may use a variety of resources such as books, online resources, mentors, and peers to guide their learning. They also take ownership of their learning outcomes, setting targets and assessing their progress towards achieving them. The benefits of self-directed learning include increased motivation, independence, and adaptability. It can also lead to a deeper understanding and retention of knowledge, as learners are more engaged and invested in their learning. Question number 16. Which classroom approach is characterized by a teacher-centered approach where the teacher provides information and students take notes? A. Direct instruction. B. Inquiry-based learning. C. Flipped classroom. D. Collaborative learning. Which classroom approach is characterized by a teacher-centered approach where the teacher provides information and students take notes? The answer is choice A. Direct instruction. Direct instruction, D, is a teaching approach that emphasizes teacher-directed, explicit instruction of academic skills and knowledge. The approach is characterized by a clear and structured presentation of information, active student engagement, and immediate feedback. Direct instruction typically involves a scripted curriculum, where teachers follow a specific sequence of lessons and activities designed to teach specific skills and concepts. The lessons are designed to be teacher-led and include modeling, guided practice, and independent practice. The approach aims to promote mastery of skills and knowledge by breaking complex tasks down into smaller, manageable parts. Teachers monitor student progress closely and provide immediate feedback to correct errors and reinforce correct responses. Direct instruction can be used in a variety of subject areas, including reading, writing, math, and science. The approach is often used in settings where there are high levels of diversity in student abilities and learning needs. Proponents of direct instruction argue that it is an effective way to improve student achievement and ensure that all students have access to high-quality instruction. Critics of the approach argue that it can be too rigid and prescriptive, and may not allow for enough student creativity or independence. Question number 17. What is the purpose of lesson planning? A. To keep students busy. B. To provide a framework for teaching and learning. C. To show off to other teachers. D. To make students anxious. What is the purpose of lesson planning? The answer is choice B. To provide a framework for teaching and learning. The purpose of a lesson plan is to provide a clear and organized framework for teaching and learning. A lesson plan outlines the objectives, materials, procedures, and assessments for a specific lesson or unit of instruction. Some of the key purposes of a lesson plan include providing a clear and measurable learning objective or goal for the lesson, identifying the materials, resources, and tools needed for the lesson, outlining the procedures and activities to be used during the lesson, creating a timeline for the lesson, including the amount of time needed for each activity, identifying assessment methods to measure student learning and progress, providing a way for teachers to reflect on and evaluate the effectiveness of the lesson, ensuring that the lesson is aligned with relevant standards and curricular goals, supporting consistency in instruction, especially in multi-teacher settings, providing a written record of what was taught and learned, which can be shared with other teachers, administrators, or parents as needed. Overall, a lesson plan is an important tool for teachers to effectively plan, organize, and implement instruction that supports student learning and achievement. question number 18. What is the first step in planning a lesson? A. Creating learning objectives. B. Deciding on materials. C. Conducting an evaluation. D. Choosing a theme. What is the first step in planning a lesson? For question number 18, the answer is choice A. Creating learning objectives. Lesson objectives are specific and measurable learning goals that teachers aim to achieve through their lessons. These objectives describe what the teacher intends for students to know or be able to do as a result of the lesson. They guide the planning, teaching, and assessment of the lesson and help both the teacher and students to focus on the intended learning outcomes. Effective lesson objectives should be clear, concise, and focused on specific outcomes. They should be written in a way that is measurable and observable so that progress towards achieving the objective can be tracked and assessed. Lesson objectives should also be aligned with broader learning goals and objectives, such as those outlined in a curriculum or syllabus. Overall, lesson objectives play a crucial role in helping teachers to design effective lessons and ensuring that students are able to achieve meaningful learning outcomes. Question number 19. What is an effective way to assess student learning during a lesson? A. Asking students to rate their understanding. B. Giving a quiz at the end of the lesson. C. Observing student participation and asking questions. D. Telling students the answer. What is an effective way to assess student learning during a lesson? For question number 19, the correct answer is choice C. Observing student participation and asking questions. Question number 20. What is the purpose of reflecting on a lesson after it has been taught? A. To make students anxious. B. To show off to other teachers. C. To provide feedback to students. D. To improve instruction and student learning. What is the purpose of reflecting on a lesson after it has been taught? For question number 20, the correct answer is C. To provide feedback to students. Providing feedback involves giving information or comments to a person about their performance or behavior with the goal of helping them improve. Feedback can be provided in various settings, such as in the workplace, in education, or in personal relationships. Effective feedback should be specific, objective, and focused on the behavior or performance rather than the person themselves. It should also be timely, given as soon as possible after the behavior or performance has occurred. Feedback can be both positive, acknowledging good performance, and constructive, highlighting areas for improvement. Providing feedback is an essential aspect of teaching and learning as it helps students to understand their strengths and weaknesses and make improvements. Teachers can provide feedback to students on their academic performance, behavior, and social skills to help them grow and develop. Similarly, managers can provide feedback to employees on their work performance to help them improve and achieve organizational goals. Overall, providing effective feedback is an important skill that can help individuals to learn and grow, both personally and professionally. Question number 21. What is an important consideration when planning a lesson for students with diverse learning needs? A. Providing materials that are too difficult for some students. B. Ignoring the needs of some students. C. Creating a one-size-fits-all lesson. D. Providing accommodations and modifications as needed. What is an important consideration when planning a lesson for students with diverse learning needs? For question number 21, the correct answer is D. Providing accommodations and modifications as needed. Question number 22. In which classroom approach do students work in groups to complete assignments and learn from each other? A. direct instruction. B. Inquiry-based learning. C. Flipped classroom. D. Collaborative learning. In which classroom approach do students work in groups to complete assignments and learn from each other? For question number 22, the correct answer is D. Collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is an educational approach that involves students working together in groups to achieve a common goal or complete a task. This method emphasizes the importance of communication, teamwork, and cooperation, as students learn from each other through sharing knowledge, skills, and experiences. Collaborative learning can take many forms, such as group projects, peer review, discussions, and problem-solving tasks. It can be particularly effective in promoting critical thinking, creativity, and social skills, as well as enhancing motivation and engagement among students. Overall, collaborative learning is a valuable tool for promoting student learning and fostering a supportive learning community. Question number 23. What is the purpose of assessing student learning after a lesson? A. To show off to other teachers. B. To make students anxious. C. To provide feedback to students and adjust instruction as needed. D. To tell students the answer. What is the purpose of assessing student learning after a lesson? For question number 23, the correct answer is C. To provide feedback to students and adjust instruction as needed. Providing feedback after a lesson is crucial for supporting student learning and growth. Feedback allows students to understand their strengths and weaknesses, identify areas for improvement, and adjust their learning strategies accordingly. It helps to clarify expectations, set goals, and track progress, providing a sense of accomplishment and motivation for students. Feedback can also highlight areas where students may need additional support or resources, enabling teachers to provide targeted interventions and personalized learning experiences. Furthermore, providing timely and constructive feedback can help to build positive relationships between teachers and students, enhancing trust, respect, and communication. Ultimately, feedback is an essential component of effective teaching and learning, promoting continuous improvement and fostering a growth mindset in students. Question number 24. A teacher is trying to help a student learn a new skill. According to cognitive theory, which of the following is the most effective way to do this? A. Demonstrating the skill for the student and then having them try it. B. Giving the student written instructions on how to perform the skill. C. Having the student watch a video on how to perform the skill. D. Asking the student to explain the skill in their own words. A teacher is trying to help a student learn a new skill. According to cognitive theory, which of the following is the most effective way to do this? For question number 24, the correct answer is A. Demonstrating the skill for the student and then having them try it. According to cognitive theory, providing a model or demonstration of a skill can help students learn the skill more effectively. Question number 25. In which classroom approach do teachers use games, simulations, and other interactive activities to engage students in learning? A. Direct instruction. B. Inquiry-based learning. C. Flipped classroom. D. Game-based learning. In which classroom approach do teachers use games, simulations, and other interactive activities to engage students in learning? For question number 25, the correct answer is D. Game-based learning. Game-based learning refers to the use of video games or game-like elements in educational settings to improve learning outcomes. It involves integrating instructional content with the mechanics of games to create an engaging and immersive learning experience. Through game-based learning, Learners can develop problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and decision-making abilities in a fun and interactive way. The use of game-based learning is becoming increasingly popular in educational settings, as it has been shown to increase motivation, engagement, and retention of knowledge among learners. Thank you for watching Gilles LED review. I hope they've been helpful in your exam preparation. Remember that success in the LED requires consistency and dedication, so I encourage you to come back for more videos to help you stay on track with your studies. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. My goal is to provide you with high-quality content that helps you feel confident and prepared for the exam. So, let's work together towards your success in the LED. Keep studying hard and I'll see you in the next video.